Pacific Coliseum. Game 5 between FlyQuest and P1 about to go live. One win for FlyQuest, or I should say more for P1 then, and FlyQuest looking for a second win there. Now 2-2. What's going to happen in Game 5? Usually FlyQuest is so used to sweeping people. Do they know what the situation is about?
Well, one thing that is going to happen in game number 5 is that Phoenix One have actually opted for blue side the first time this time around. So they are going to switch the pick ban order, and this could actually shake things up. We were talking a little bit about before what is actually going to be, what are they actually going for with this first pick and changing from their normal. The junglers have been very big in this series.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to be able to actually pinch the jungle the way that you did previously. Phoenix One were banning both Rengar and Ivern on their red side. Yeah. So now they kind of free up some of those bans. They won't have to ban the Rengar. And I feel like this is the catalyst of the jungle for both teams. Inori having a great first play snowballs the game. Moon, same thing. And in Game 5, when both those guys are the catalysts, the pressure is on.
Absolutely.
Make them feel comfortable. I think Phoenix One will be looking for a first pick jungler here to try and get Inori on a comfort pick.
Yeah, both of these junglers have shown that they are not scared to continue to go for game-changing plays, flash cocoons and ultimates like that. So we're very, very curious to see if they are able to grab a champion that will make that easier for them.
And this is the final game of the 2017 spring split for both of these teams.
Right. And they're grooming these guys, for international competition as well and for continued success in summer split. You want people on your team that when it's Game 5, when the pressure is on, that person calls for the ball. That's the person that wants, hey, give me first pick, I will win you the game.
Absolutely. You got to have that intensity coming into these games. We kind of question some of the new players if they're ready for these. Well, they're going to have to get help from the veterans on the team. It is an everyone effort as we come into something like this.
And this is going to be really weird moving forward because FlyQuest, do they ban the Ivern? Do you ban the Ivern? Because LeBlanc going to be left up here.
Exactly.
Looks like it will be the case as FlyQuest very focused on the junglers, and they're very well aware that Phoenix One may be making that call to go for the first pick for Inori, taking out some of the options. Now they do have to decide. You can't do both, and it's going to be the ball in Ryu's court now. Will they go for one of those first pick LeBlancs that's been permabanned? The Hextech Gunblade has been talked about so often about how high pressure this champion gets.
And now there's, honestly, you're splitting hairs. You get Lulu, they get Karma. If you go for Elise, they get Kha'Zix. That's the thing that doesn't have the answer, though, is the LeBlanc right now.
Ryu says, pass me the rock, and he will be piloting the LeBlanc this time around. Hai is a player, though, who has played Kassadin into LeBlanc before. That was pre-Gunblade fad, though. And he is definitely a player that is up to the challenge as far as accepting mid-lane 1v1 matchups that very few other mid laners are able to do.
Exactly. We've been seeing some counters jump up, though. Lulu into LeBlanc, Karma into LeBlanc, played even last night in LPL and LCK as counters. So those two plus the Kassadin have been kind of rising as those guys who can match him. You take teleport in the mid lane typically, and then you're able to match. But we see the Karma pick early on. Could be for Lemon, could be for Hai.
Lulu's still left up as well. As we go back over the side of P1, their first game here, looking for a blue side.
I don't know. This early importance they put onto Kha'Zix is interesting, considering the success that Inori just had on the Elise. And maybe it's something more about getting Moon on something he's comfortable with, rather than trying to do anything about Inori's champion.
Yeah, and right now, Elise, Shen might be the answer here. That would mean you pass up the Lulu and give the potential, though, for the flex. So they're most likely deciding right now, are we taking a Lulu? Are we taking a Shen right now between these two? And that's what it looks like. Maybe the Lulu. There they go.
That makes it such a difficult composition to lock somebody down as well.
Yeah.
Both Elise, LeBlanc in and out, Lulu with safety if you're not out right away, and it is going to be that Kassadin Hai has gone back to so many times to go up against Ryu's LeBlanc.
So Kassadin versus LeBlanc, now that the Hextech Gunblade is involved, yes, Kassadin is such a good split pusher and he does scale super well, but doesn't match the sustain of LeBlanc unless we see him also change up the build and go for Spell Vamp as well. But yeah, that is the big differentiating factor nowadays. Currently, in lane and stuff, you always will still rely on those trades with the shield, but top lane is the next focus, and there's no way Shen is going to get through to the second round.
I was like, if you give them Shen plus Kassadin. That's just the death sentence right there. I do think that Phoenix One have a little bit of a saving grace right now because LeBlanc versus Kassadin is not like a super hard counter or anything like that. You end up in a split push pattern. Who's ever ahead and has advantage in the lane, and especially since LeBlanc has sustain, can get those turrets over time. But if you have something like a Lulu, when you get the team fights, the Lulu can shut down the Kassadin for a few seconds, leave him immobile, and make sure that you can pick up kills.
Carry top lane bans here coming out, taking the Gangplank down as well. And in answering here, Phoenix One knows that, well, you're probably going for a tank then, and they take the other premier tank off of the table for balls.
Maokai jumps to my mind.
Still got Crazy Kled on the side of Zig.
You got Kled, you got Camille.
Yep. Yeah.
We did not expect there to be a super high focus on Camille in this series because these two top laners, you know, Zig hasn't played it, and Balls, when he has played it, it has not looked very good for them. That being said, this is game 5, and they could definitely go all out.
Yeah, it's about, correction for myself, Balls had played it 3 times, but it's still one of their most banned champions. They just don't like playing it. They've been banning it on blue side as well from FlyQuest.
And FlyQuest already, you know, have the Kassadin who does not have a lot of wave clear, and they would really be pigeonholing themselves. Currently, if you're Kassadin, you can shift it down to the bottom side and just put Caitlyn Karma up in the mid lane for that.
And it's the King of Kled making an appearance in the top lane here. Zig, game 5 in front of his home country. Gonna go for the signature pick here. He did lose a game on it, so he's not undefeated anymore.
One hell of a fast team as well, or a team that can catch up to you with speed ups and following Kled in his ultimate. So they may be able to run down this FlyQuest team that wants to jump away.
It's a bit crazy too, because you think of Kled, you're like, oh, is that blind pickable? For him, it is.
Yeah.
The thing though, you know, time and time again, FlyQuest have used Caitlyn Karma lane in the bottom side, just the perma push, the ease at which you can push this lane and get down early turrets. That's how they have fueled their mid-game moves, is Caitlyn and Karma try and get that bottom lane turret first, rotate them up to the other outer turrets, and then they can slot Kassadin into that side lane for scaling into the split push.
It's going to be the Gragas top. Rumble was still available, but a lot of AP on the side of FlyQuest to come into this game with Kha'Zix and Caitlyn being that damage for them.
Yeah, it gives you a little bit of a better form of engage that you can go for as well. And disengage. This team's going to be rushing straight at your face. If you can separate them, even push Arrow back a few meters, then you're fine.
Yeah. Also, you know, with the Ashe Lulu lane actually quite strong there for Phoenix One. See if they can actually handle that wave control this time around.
And all these lanes look pretty brutal back and forth. Caitlyn Karma, you got Ashe, Lulu. That's one where you're button heads trying to find some advantage. Same thing with the mid lane.
Especially those solo lanes do look like they might attract some jungler attention. And once again, all eyes will be on them for the early game.
Players are ready now for game 5 the way they see it. This is a 1-game win right here. Nothing has happened before. The minds have been cleared as we enter into the final match. And the coaches give their players their final words of wisdom as they head off as well to the back to just listen, kick and scream as their team gets those engages. We'll have to see what happens. Hashtag P1 win, hashtag Fly win, as we're about to get into game 5 for our 3rd place match.
One of these teams about to put the crowning achievement of their strong splits. Position ending in number 3 here for whoever is able to get the extra challenger points.
Yeah, gets them a few more championship points to get themselves closer to Worlds, but also you definitely want to end on a high note for the split. Both these teams, a little bit of rebuilding here. This isn't the same as the Cloud9 Challenger roster. They added 2 members, and then you even look at, so they added 1 member, and then you even look at P1, rebuilding split for them completely. Only Zig and Inori are the 2 returning members.
True story of the Phoenix.
And if you're going from in the promotion tournament to 3rd place, I would consider that a successful split.
Well, see if they can succeed one more time. Things become difficult when both teams have that same goal. Here in game 5, it only can go to 1.
All right, other big difference between LeBlanc and Kassadin is that LeBlanc will have wave clear, and Kassadin, if he falls behind, is going to have to rotate bottom lane over to wherever they need to relieve that pressure.
Yeah, I'm looking for Inori on P1 to make a very early play onto the Kassadin before Riftwalk comes out. If you can get a chain into a cocoon, that's pretty much a huge advantage for your team.
Inori, one of the ways he got, you know, such a big early start in the last game was not going the predicted path. You know, the bottom lane was wide open, had not placed their trinket wards on purpose, was perma shoving up, only level 2, and you would expect the Elise to go down to that you know, very pushed up lane for the gank. And that's why Moon was ready for that counter gank.
Look at this.
But Nori went to the mid lane, which was not considered.
And Zig both in that bush. Moon, high, looking to check it, but also they're bringing balls in here too. And they moved out just in time. They're like, this is getting fishy. And they spot balls.
So much advanced warding
They're
here.
pinching them. This is a level 1.
Ryu's around the other side. So nothing as well happening in the jungle for Nori as he's part of this. Bot lane's just going to start duking it out as we have a little fiasco here in the start.
Yeah, it's not any huge advantage to either side quite yet, as either of them have taken a lot of damage. They're kiting this red buff into the brush, though, and Ryu pretty far extended.
Yeah, prevented the level 2, though, got himself.
It looks so scary, but everybody's got level 1.
But Nori has level 2, though. Oh, bear trap in a row. High didn't make it. He's going to get pulled back.
He's going to pull in. High with his flashes down. They're going to go for him. He could be the first one. And for Cassidy, that's not going to be great. Nori comes up with first blood.
P1 pull the red buff into the brush, and FlyQuest stay on the Raptors, opting to take those. As you said, you know, Moon, he did not get all of the small ones to get his level 2. And Nori with that red buff. Huge, you know, start there for Phoenix 1.
And also the fact there's 2 other things that really go into that. Zig landing the bear trap on a rope on his comfort champion, the flash from high not making it over the wall to break the tether or even far enough. And then the other thing is Balls took Q level 1, didn't take the body slam, didn't have a way to start a fight to close that distance. If he had that, those fights where they were fighting around the red would have been very different.
You have to stabilize after a level 1 like that, though, if you are FlyQuest. Can't let that tilt you in a game number 5. So much has been leading up to this. There's plenty of League of Legends to play.
You got to be careful. You got to kind of get yourself back to equal. But I will say you are playing with a huge deficit in that mid lane now. No flash, no teleport. Your opponent has both of those summoner spells.
This hurts too. High getting auto-attacked under his turret, 20 to 8 CS there, as he's going to have a lot of trouble cleaning him up with Ryu in his face. So already it's going to be Moon pulled to the mid lane for a little bit of help there, and we'll see if they can get anything back. Bottom lane during that whole fight, looks like they stayed quite even. Nobody really got level 2 first as they farm it out, push each other back as the lane equals out here. Teleport top by Balls. We should see the same thing from Zig here if he gets the wave cleared a bit more.
Once again, ball in Nori's court. Not only did he get that red buff steal, he also came away with the kill secure for that first blood and has invested into Vision. Vision that should be placed around this mid lane to allow Ryu to play very aggressively into this Kassadin and keep that CS count low.
Yeah, because they have a little bit more of a 1-3-1 composition with double teleport, having more vision to allocate across the map is a little bit better than having that challenging smite early on. You want to get this LeBlanc off the ground. They first picked it for a reason. They just got a large advantage on their jungle to help facilitate that LeBlanc in the future.
I actually don't know where Moon is. 2 pings on the bottom just went behind Arrow and Shady towards the Krug and 1 in front. So they were like, he might be here.
4 minutes, 45 seconds, back to the Raptors, back to the chickens, check them out.
Got that on a timer, check your watch. The Nori going quite low though. Moon also down to 200 HP. Gets the fight for a little bit of HP. The auto from Ryu cleans it up. And Nori is just causing chaos for Ryu to come in and be the cavalry. Look out, look out.
Not gonna give the counter kill back there to the Raptors, but that's the thing about Elise. If you jump onto her, it makes it so easy to land that cocoon. Nori no hesitation, and then immediately can buy time with his repel, allowing for the mid laner, who was already winning from the previous Raptor fight, to come first. And Ryu gets right in there. They are able to secure that kill onto Moon, also burning his flash, and further playing off their point of strength, returning to that second Raptor spawn.
And Moon knows damn well this is going to happen, but he thinks it's a gank, so he's getting closer to the wall to jump over. Cocoon hits him in the face, and then there, Ryu's able to flash in to connect the first part to get himself his passive.
See, the reason the Cocoon is so easy to hit is because as soon as you start that jump, he fires it in a line. Even though Moon lands behind Nori, Cocoon has already started. It hits you while you're in the air, and you land stunned. So he's able to turn around, get his counter damage off, and then turn into the repel. and very intelligent there to just play around where they got their early lead and play off of it.
Does he have enough damage to take him down before he remounts?
I know. Dual wielding those Doran's blades. He's looking for Scarl back. Just a few more hits. He gets it. Jumps into the fight. The bear trap just misses, and Balls is actually able to get himself the upper hand once again in the fight.
That passive gets you so much attack speed to get yourself back onto Scarl. And Zig, though, this time, he does have to play back. He doesn't have the passive for a bit longer. Balls does have kill potential, was dismounted.
Rings for Balls, turning them into the brass knuckles, swords for Zigs. They just keep buying their Dorans as they can recipe up here into that top lane, really not doing too much damage to each other.
Big discrepancy in that jungle, though. Already about 800 gold up for Inori. So he's got himself the Ether Wisp to pretty much nothing from Moon.
A little bit of
back from him.
A little speed, able to get into position better.
Yeah, it's great. You can buy it instead of getting boots 1 at the beginning and start moving towards your jungle item.
Both level 6
extra damage.
Yep.
Moon being very cautious now in his red quadrant of the jungle, warding for every camp he passes by, drawing into the brush, and very well aware that Inori could be hot on his heels again. Also, their hawk shot helping to keep track of him and really, really allowing Inori here some more freedom on the other side of the map.
Ooh. This mid lane's going to be interesting as well. You see Ryu already has his revolver, so he can trade very heavily every time that's up. High, still behind. He has his flashback up, so he has advantage over Ryu. There's a possibility of slingshotting it back in his favor. Rubber banding it back.
71 to 64, no real discrepancy in the bot lane right now. It is level 6 for Altec, but we'll see Arrow and Shady get that back just about immediately when they get into lane. Dash finally in the game. We'll have to see arrows from Arrow. We'll have to wait for the lane to kind of shut down before that and everybody start moving around. Blue buff attempt here for P1 as they look to get inside Fly's jungle.
Arrow has the arrow.
Spamming
Pink
down here. They are seen by the defensive ward, but is there even anything FlyQuest can do about it? They're going for the counter invade on the other side instead. So Elimination just buying some time there.
Yeah, it's a bit before that blue buff is up, though, because it's a different route. And now Zig doesn't have the passive, so he can't remount quickly. Ryu gonna chunk out high, has the teleport.
And that's a Negatron clip.
Not only that, but they already rotate over their dual lane after pushing up on that blue buff, and they're trying to push down the mid lane.
Top lane, though, it's not going to get shoved in fast enough here, and he's almost remounted, about to go back on, and he is.
What a change from P1 here. Can Zig stay alive in the top as the mid lane getting pushed by P1? They couldn't get a result out of the bot lane. Altec Lemon keep pushing, find a result in mid, and P1 starts to rotate around.
Elimination trying to clear the wave, but it's not going to be enough in Phoenix 1. Brute force, first blood on turret.
Weren't happy with that bot lane result. It's just farming out, and P1 likes the fight. They like to get results, as we've seen from last game in game 1. Moving to mid lane, like you said, picks it up. 2,000 gold lead now in their favor with the 2 kills, and Zig actually dodged out that pressure in the top lane, so they're buying some good time here for an advantage.
Phoenix 1 came into this game plan, again, attack the carries of FlyQuest. The Moon and High combo, they went right to the Raptors, skirmishing there before minions have even spawned, and continue the pressure, trying to force this Kassadin really far down, and it has worked. Moon trying to find a way back into this game, gonna go for the counter blue buff here, but
They're also going to try to go for top instead. Let's see what happens here.
He could get Scarl back. That could really mess things up for them.
Don't know if he can.
Not going to have enough time to get the autos if you're just stunned up and locked down. Not much you're going to do. We see the teleport stopped as well. Ryu doesn't have the chase, and he also doesn't want to give anything up for High to get back here in the mid lane.
That teleport burned as well, so yeah. That means they can push top. They can shove that wave. Get the TP out of Zig. We'll see what Moon does from here. Has he found an opening in the top lane that he wants to keep exploiting? Is the question. Is that going to be the lane he plays to? It's a Gragas, so you aren't going to get too much more, but look at that.
Oh, the cocoon does land. Nori could still get into range. They're trying to figure out what that distance would be.
He wants to stay in range for the next
And they're getting a fuse distortion. Is it enough? The Q comes out.
Passive.
High gets his own Q back. The chain locks and secures the kill.
But he's double shot.
All right, work.
Caught between a turret and a turret.
Yeah, not much you can do about that one. wanted the kill. He's still keeping High down, but does give High a little bit of cash, a little bit of a shutdown back for the team. Only on 2 kills, though.
Yeah, again, though, man, so much hyper focus here from Phoenix One on that mid lane. And the big wave there is going to be stuck in front of Ryu's turrets. Dragon's still on the table. A lot of chaos going on down there, but Zig is the target for Moon as he's trying to create some space.
Gonna be a difficult one again.
Holding the barrel. Oh!
Blocks up balls. They're going to be able to get this kill again. No, maybe not.
He returned.
Scarl! Oh, what a play at the last second. And Zig stays alive.
The King of
Kled.
The ultimate from Balls hit as he was dismounting. It cancels it. He's untargetable. He doesn't get knocked back. And then he's able to get a counter kill ×2.
This is how you live, Scarl.
Oh, they chased him so long under the turret without popping him back off of Scarl. Paid the price in spades here, and now on the other side of the map, bottom turret under a tremendous amount of pressure.
Oh, you gotta pop that ultimate before he dismounts, put him in a bad position. Oh, and that's that second turret going down for P1.
Now they have such a chance to move around the map. We talked about what kind of movement speed and distance they can cover so fast. And right now, High and the rest of the team is kind of relegated to just their second tier or outer turrets. We'll see this one more time.
Yeah, let's take another look. They know that Zig doesn't have his flash due to the last one, so he could have ulted at any time previously to this. But Moon pops. You can see he was kind of waiting there for a while to not pop it, but then they were so deep under the tree, it's like, I gotta do it now.
My word.
Yeah.
And they both timed it at the same time there.
Yeah, you gotta do it when he has that, honestly, a bit of a sliver left right before that.
Or literally right when they engage him in the lane. You know he doesn't have flash.
He has ultimate, and they were able to block it. So if you're doing that really early, then it's much better. Balls did that the first time they ganked him, and they got the flash out of him. Second time, waited too long.
Those are the kind of situations you get on a very comfortable champion. When you're trying to go back in, you know that last ounce of effort could pay off. It's kind of like when you're standing toe-to-toe to somebody and you're just sinking fangs into him with Cassiopeia. You're like, I can live, I can live.
I could do this.
You got to play that moment. Got to play it to the end. And Zig comes out on top, teleport advantage as well if he needs to bring that power around the map now that they have destroyed turrets in the bot lane. Focus could be towards the top here against FlyQuest now, with a 3,000 gold lead, 14 minutes in for P1.
Yeah, going for a little bit of a swap here. 4-man strong in the top for FlyQuest. Nothing to lose in the bottom side except a tier 2 that would have to be fast pushed right now. So they're going to try to get an advantage on top side.
Yeah, the problem for FlyQuest is that while they could also, 1-3-1, they have double teleports, there's so much engage on Phoenix One. If they decide that, when to pick people off, these outer turrets going down are just fine for Phoenix One in trading. Ash Arrow as well as Kled Ultimate. There's so many options here for Phoenix One to pick off members of FlyQuest while rotating.
That's such a great point because we talk about how Karma is so good for your 3-man core to help you all escape. But the Ash Arrow, you have to really watch out for that. You have to watch out for the Kled Ultimate as well.
Yep.
If Karma's running away and there's a Kled Ultimate coming, he's still going to chase you down.
Balls with a smart play towards the bot side there, trying to stave off all of this damage to their structures. And right now, they're able to do only so much. Fly now making their own push towards the top. They'll be able to get a little bit of gold back here and pick up these outer turrets, which would be very nice for getting some items finished here.
Go back a few games where FlyQuest had to play chicken with P1 and they won, and they got themselves a lot of turrets on the bottom side of the map. It's happening again here.
And we know they play best if they play around the fights, and that's what they just did. They may lose this turret here on the bot side. High, here to help, but it looks like he's going to hold off.
Yeah. High looked like he was thinking about it, but that TP actually helps them a lot. That's for you.
The big difference between last time when they make the call for them to stand 2 men and delay is that the other side is still pushing. Here, there's nothing to gain on the other side if they all end in try to 2v4.
Game 5, we're still seeing everybody's trying to make some moves, trying to find where's that wiggle room. The early parts of the game, and Ori was able to find really great openings, and then FlyQuest thought they had found some on the top lane on Zig, turns that around, and now that's a point of strength for P1.
Yeah, really great as well. The bottom side of the map is open. Denying blue from high could be huge on that Cassidy as we get in the game. And P1 has the power to keep injecting wards into that side of the jungle.
Exactly. They have the strength right now. Even though FlyQuest have wards that see Phoenix 1 coming, nothing they can do about it as they push it down. FlyQuest just want to trade right now. They'll trade the bottom turret, trade some gold. They don't want to fight at this deficit. Phoenix 1, they'll have a very big lead as far as pushing these turrets down, and they're already looking at tier 2 while FlyQuest finally finish up that tier 1.
Yeah, a little bit of a tempo advantage there. Balls. Yeah, they see him back, so now they know, oh, might be a push mid to try and get that wave further, and then Zig calls to go take care of bottom side.
Yep, gets himself a black cleaver and a control ward to make sure he is safe. He may actually head down, give Ryu that real quick, and then they might make something of what can come in the mid lane. That is the mid turret to protect now as FlyQuest has made their way around, picked up that extra gold. Try to stave off the snowball that P1 did.
Yeah, exactly. FlyQuest want to wait a little while because they're the ones fielding the Caitlyn that wants to build their crit multipliers up, whereas the Ashe really embracing the Blade of the Ruin King build, and not to mention the utility that comes from Arrow. We'll have a lot of uses here. There goes the double assassin bottom play from FlyQuest. Ryu's very slippery, though.
Yeah. Ryu also hasn't spent money in a very long time. He's sitting on 2.2 thousand gold. So technically, it's a little bit up right now for High in that matchup until that back comes through.
Pretty interesting. Also still taking the fights against him. To be able to finalize his item as he goes back. Top lane teleports are both up for these guys. They can lock each other out of those as well. Altec and Elimination not pushing up too much. It's kind of a here nor there for FlyQuest. It seems like they want to do something, but they also don't know where P1 is totally inside that dark jungle.
Yeah, Ryu, if he finally is able to get off his recall and go purchase the full Gunblade here, suddenly those trades in the bottom side take a very different turn, as he can just go for them and then heal up completely off of the wave. Zig going for the solo steal here on the red, which should be fairly easy for him to complete.
Cloud Drake in 35 seconds, but I feel like map pressure is more important to these two teams than the Drake, as High's going for a flank.
Yeah, and again, for FlyQuest, they're in the mindset of farming up the Caitlyn at the moment. High definitely getting into a dangerous spot.
Waiting, will he go back? Takes a distortion. Another chain to come out here. The arrow's not there. He just misses getting himself over the wall. Tries to get the shield from his Q. And it's only going to be harder for him to get away on this. Slowed once again. Ryu just waltzing in range each time. It's got to be frustrating.
They're already pinging towards the mid here. Zig looking to keep them cornered, but
ulti interrupted.
Out.
Not too quick. Trying to throw the ulti down to get a little extra movement speed. Moon hitting him up well. And that resolve's going to help him out. Beautiful flash over the wall. Altec wants the chase. And so did Balls. They go over the wall, but they retreat.
Split decision there. Moon wanted to keep the chase going. Altec and Elimination had already kind of pulled off. And so Moon took a lot of damage trying to chase Zig down there. Not a full commitment from FlyQuest. Very rare to see that from the squad, even when they're down and they're feeling pressured.
Yeah. Instant action. They're in the jungle, denying camps, denying everything they can, and pushing down that mid lane.
And like you were saying, Kobe, the fact that it was just a split call, Altec has his ultimate. It's one of those ones where if you can get like a Gragas cask in there and a little bit more damage, then you're looking at a kill.
Stave off the pressure in the mid lane as FlyQuest now trying to use 4 members to do these things. Ball's still off on the side now, ready for a flank. And it's about the time that P1 backs off. Ryu on just a solo mission to toy with FlyQuest. Figure out where they can get in next.
Yep, so many pick options here for Phoenix 1. Doubt that FlyQuest would want to risk a pick just to go for a Cloud Drake test. So should be Phoenix 1 getting some more move speed for themselves, which will be helpful when rotating over bottom lane or top lane getting pushed in right now.
A little bit of movement speed now for their sustain of the Ocean Drake. P1 can kind of hang out a little bit if they ever get to sieging turrets. Really, this is an in and out team. Once they get their kill, they'll be looking for more. 20 minutes on, 6-2 here again. You can see the stark difference between FlyQuest in the lead and working around the game, P1 in the lead and looking for those fights, those skirmishes.
There's a lot of ways that P1 can start them. Skirmishes can start with a Zig ulti, arrow, Ryu even just poking around. We've seen a little bit of everything so far in this game, whereas FlyQuest, they're still waiting for high. Like this is, oh, the Kassadin takes a while to scale up. It's still that guy that requires like 2-3 items to really feel that punch.
It takes even longer if he hasn't gotten the early game.
Yeah.
So hopefully the Caitlyn, Kassadin come online at kind of the same time. It could be a power spike that FlyQuest looking to use.
Then you have to watch out if you're Arrow and you're sitting in the back line. Both Shady and Arrow, very squishy targets that would have to respect the Kassadin damage and have to be very fast on whimsying him, making sure that he's not continuing to burst your team.
Right.
Problem is that mostly what FlyQuest bring with this comp is kiting and damage. They don't have a lot of proactive tools for themselves to really create any space. So that kind of has to come from really good dodging and counter initiation.
Yeah, Balls is kind of their one ticket there, but then you kind of give up the 1-3-1.
It's a choice FlyQuest usually can make.
Yep.
Now it's the position they put themselves in, and they find a fight just going an ace in their favor. It's been an interesting season to watch how they can get themselves back into games. Right now, it's only going to be that much more difficult. 3,000 down, and without vision in their jungle, it becomes that much harder to take anything back.
Yeah, blue buff was handed over to high, but they are completely ignoring the bottom side. Zig is shoving that out. We'll have this up near the turret soon. And when they see all the members of FlyQuest on the top side, see what this ends up in. Chain!
The CC chain, beautifully done by P1. High has stood no chance, and the team's just going to kind of hold back until he can get back into position. Just make sure they deliver a little bit of damage while they're waiting.
Yeah, eventually a team with that many tools for picking people off and the lead like this with vision control is going to finally find one. High is the target. He does have teleport, so it's not the worst death in the world for FlyQuest. It's more money over to Phoenix One, though.
Now they're going to go for that top turret and kind of split the jungle in the Baron area.
Light hit, but no full engage. Arrow's still down there. Just trying to make it look juicy to see if they can get FlyQuest into a fight that would be P1's favor. FlyQuest too smart for that, though, staying back, and now know they have to be even smarter about going in their jungle. Power in numbers here is even High, who can get out very easily, is getting taken down by this team in P1.
Yeah, we definitely had a very rough early game, but sitting at 1-4, you go back to, I believe, game 1, where he was sitting with about 6 deaths for himself, was heavily picked on, and it was just a mid lane exploitation, where that's been this series back and forth. Jungler gets a good move. If it's mid lane, really start going off to a gigantic lead.
Infinity Edge finished up by Altec. If he can keep good positioning, just a few shots could change this fight. Zig's rather backing off with Kled in the bot side. It looks like P1 will reset here. They can now start to focus on the top side of the map and really pressure FlyQuest into something that they want.
Interesting as well, Zig heading straight down mid. Could be a Kled ultimate, but they also have a lot of control wards in this area around Baron. So just kind of going for the path of, hey, run it down mid just in case. And then he's really showing up bottom.
Time is now for FlyQuest. They have to evade the next initiation from Phoenix One in order to be able to turn this around.
Here,
been found out, though.
Here they come.
It's going to be the pinch. Kled's actually on the bot side of Altec. Arrow on the left side of Altec. They don't have a back line. It's just a circle fight for FlyQuest. How are they going to manage this one? Now they have eyes on Ryu. He's Altec almost 100-0. Zig now off of Scarl, and they're going to continue the fight over the wall. Ryu looking for the kill with the chains, but it's not coming through as the team body blocks Ace in the hole, and somehow everybody gets out alive with summoners.
They pulled off step number 1, which is have Balls take half of the initiation. He took the Ash Arrow. He also took the Kled ultimate. That's how they survived there, but just barely.
Yeah.
Here's the TP. Zig looking to get back in here. That's Ryu and Zig both.
Double TP, gonna catch him off guard. Can he follow? One last auto to secure the kill. Altec can now not help clear from the back line. And it looks like P1 will crash down on the mid turret and start to open up the map even more. Waiting 30 seconds for Altec.
And then they can retreat back to Baron Pit or try and get an inhibitor before.
Now Moon off on the side here. Unsure what he's trying to accomplish, except maybe some potential pressure. Oh,
nice,
Arrow.
Very nice cast. Looks like Arrow can get himself to safety. Moon has an entry into the side, but that entry is all in for him, so he has to stay at bay. They're still waiting for Altec, and they were able to protect that inhibitor turret.
Key thing is that so many flashes were blown from key members of FlyQuest in that, though, and now it's so close with them barely escaping. No, Phoenix One still won with those. Oh!
LeBonked.
LeBonked indeed. High's going to keep going, but he doesn't know how far. They haven't left this side of the jungle in quite some time, and that river is quite dark. Moon now with 30 seconds on him as Altec comes up. This comes into the situation P1 was falling into where they're up, they're down, they're up, they're down.
Well, Ash Arrow is up, and Phoenix One will get right back out to it, but Ultimate as well, and without those flashes, the engagement will be very difficult for FlyQuest to get out of the second time around.
5, 1, and 2 as Ryu once again given strength by a Nori in the mid lane. He is 1-0-4 in this, at least for his second play on that. 9 and 2, 27 minutes coming up on the clock here, and already P1 again to the base of FlyQuest with enough strength to actually make a move on the inhibitor turrets. If we see it happen too fast, like we say, teams back off. You don't have enough power to be up there, but they are going with the flow right now and are very strong.
Absolutely. Just picking up all the objectives that they can across the map as they set up. If you think back to the previous game, Baron was never done at all in that game. Phoenix One kept using it to bait, and if they start getting themselves in situations again where they can 1-3-1, maybe look for TP flanks as they bait for Baron, that might be the winning recipe here for Phoenix One. And they have a 6,000 gold advantage. They're trying to press.
It's the new thing. You just never do it. You kind of do it.
You can't throw Baron if you never try to kill it.
There you go.
Phoenix One have that third place finish in their sights at the moment. Remember, this is the team during multiple moments of the regular season, people were calling third best team in the North American LCS, but went through so many hardships of all these substitutions and roster moves that it's been a very arduous journey for them to actually get here where they're so close to actually achieving that goal.
Exactly. It's like they look like the third place team. Well, what look was that? Was that Meteos? Was that Inori and Stunt? Inori and Shady is running
here they go.
And they're going for
Spider. High is the one to lock down. Oh, just over the shoulder of Balls. High gets consecutively locked up by the arrow.
Ryu in the back.
Ryu's in, distorts back, but Moon watches the distortion position, finds Arrow, or rather Ryu as he comes back. The rest of the team now on to Lemon Nation. And it is the rest of the team staying alive. The ability to dodge out and find their target. Too good.
Actually able to get a very substantial counter kill there.
Yeah.
FlyQuest taking down Ryu. So that doesn't mean this is a free Baron as Phoenix One rotate over to it. FlyQuest still are going to have something to say about it.
Yep, Zig will actually get Courage every hit on Epic Monsters, so he'll remount and actually heal himself with a few more autos on if they wanted to go for it. But as Phoenix One, being a little skittish around the Baron again.
I mean, you definitely should be, as FlyQuest are hovering very close.
Yeah.
Trapped in that pit.
What would it take for them to do Baron?
Well, it'd take much more kills. Because FlyQuest, like we said, they have plenty of damage.
Yeah, right here.
In the pit, wouldn't matter.
High gets bear trapped on a rope, but then look at that. You see Ryu trying to go for the back line, but actually needs so much damage on the way out, and Moon covered the exit.
Exactly. He took the headshot, but Moon was sticking on that distortion launch pad, basically, and able to clean up that kill.
All right.
FlyQuest some more time.
Ward duty. Too many people off the map after a fight like that, and things can actually open up for a team. As things kind of fall off in vision, it needs to be replaced, and that can get dangerous. Infernal Drake coming up next, but at 30 minutes, it's all about that top side of the map.
Yeah, everybody wants to be around that Baron. These control wards, though, have been doing some work for Phoenix One, and they get to place wards like that and then be able to snap back. And there isn't much catch potential on FlyQuest. It's not like LeBlanc goes forward and, oh no, she's hit by a Cocoon. She's kind of the one being the aggressor.
High trying to strike back. There's a little bit of a chunk, but Moon gets a big one.
Good hit from both Shady and Inori. Buddy system working out. Even if it's two people, they're able to get some damage. Spread thin. Zig to the bot side with Kled. Tag on that turret every so often. It's going to go down quite soon. The team is now forced for the Baron. Ryu looks for High here. Moon is still going to be open to get into the pit as Ryu distorts back. And Baron again, once again, is just the attempt.
Moon sitting around so low still after that chunk.
Yeah.
Needs to be able to refresh out of vision of Phoenix One because they're going to return right back to the Baron and keep this pressure up.
Will they actually do it, though?
They have plenty of control wards, 3 more slots in inventory, so continue to look for these picks.
I feel
they
like
don't have to complete the Baron, they just have to get the kills, similar to like we saw previously.
Exactly. It's lower risk for medium reward instead of medium risk, high reward. They just keep going for that. Baron steal could you lose you the game here, but if you don't go for a pick.
P1.
Oh, he hit fighters.
FlyQuest walking into the wards. And it looks like they're going to try to take this fight. Balls gets hit up. That's a repel from Minori. That means they are in the fight. And this could be done in the fight. Arrow goes down high, very low, but he's able to take down one more. Eyes on the Shady, and he is going to go down. Oh, he lives.
Boone
That's
looking to get
Ryu
back
and
in.
Zig, very, very low. Alltech able to fire from the back line, though, as the 80 carry still alive. The Monster Shield comes in for speed and shield. And they're good to go. Shady and Ryu have to get out.
Balls comes up so huge once again for FlyQuest. The one guy with the tools to be able to create this play hits Arrow into the team. High and Moon both going for the execution, and FlyQuest still fighting.
Just look at that again. Goes in, messes up by hitting the spiders, but it doesn't matter.
He takes
makes
the
up for it
arrow.
here. Exactly. Takes the arrow, and then that cast. Arrow walked forward. He got a slight speed boost there at the end, and it put him on the other side of the cast, right to the team.
Then the Caitlyn scaling up, does her work throughout this team fight. Moon trying to bait them over those traps as well. And able to get that last kill onto Zig.
That's a 3 for 2 in favor of FlyQuest. And this Baron area, I mean, you can make that Baron look like it's completely free for Phoenix One, but it looks like they are not willing to take it. They just keep trying to get small advantages over and over again. They don't want to risk a steal. Even if they chunk out Moon and they have complete control of the objective, they still don't want to do it. And this is just a battle zone.
QSS comes in for Alltech as well. Very critical pickup for them, as the picks are the way that P1 really pushed this game home. FlyQuest still fighting strong here. Vision in favor of Phoenix One, and once again, starting up the Baron to look for a bait. FlyQuest have to trade.
It's going down very, very slow. Definitely enough time to walk in. They have to jockey. And they have to pull off. Contested by High. Arrow goes in. High maybe taken down.
He's almost dead.
He gets deleted, turned into a little bunny, and taken down. They're going to follow the fight, though. 50 seconds on these deaths. Can they get balls now? Cocoon hits him, but he body slams into safety with the control ward in the brush. Lemon Nation's going to go down to Zig, and can Zig pinch the bottom, or do they pressure Fly into one more attempt?
That's two very big kills there for Phoenix One. They're right back to the Baron. Ryu has his teleport. He's going back to base, and they have to watch out.
Yeah, gotta watch for a TP flank, but look at this. Moon off on the right side. Doesn't look like he wants to contest this Baron at all. And this is where the Baron will go over to Phoenix One.
FlyQuest trying to take away this Infernal Drake as the consolation prize after losing that fight around Baron. And hopefully for them to try and get back to their inhibitor turrets in time to defend, because Phoenix One are going straight on that top route, trying to get those minions up to the turret in time. Respawn timer's coming up, though.
This one looks like it's already going down quite low. Just needs a few shots from Arrow.
Yeah, he'll get it too. Everybody else.
Yeah, with the Hurricane, he's just going to wipe down the wave. Looking at the composition now, it's basically up to Alltech as these minions are baroned up to be cleared out of these turrets.
Oh, Lemon.
God gives you lemons. You try to take third place. It's going to keep pushing up here, too. Now that they've gotten elimination, less wards be placed around. They can keep going for this and keep pushing.
They have no control, even just steps outside of their base. P1 suffocating FlyQuest 16-6 with a 10,000 gold lead as they finally break the base open. And they have been toying with FlyQuest just to get the Baron. It kind of shows the lead they've held and were able to control throughout the game for P1.
Huge, huge, huge failure right there. Not able to get back and set up their defenses. I mean, there's no reason to go outside of the base. Just set up the Caitlyn traps in front of your turret at your base. Everyone stay inside the walls to try and delay. But after that death, it's very clear for FlyQuest. Give up the inhibitor. No further deaths for them. And they're going to try and wait out Phoenix One's Baron.
FlyQuest, you know, they've been fighting this whole series. Alltech in particular has had really good performances so far in this match. This is a game where he does have carry potential again. Now has his armor penetration item, has 3 items, the QSS.
Well, again, one of those matches where he kind of flies under the radar.
Yeah.
And you find him in a fight later where he becomes a Caitlyn or he becomes whoever he's playing.
Ryu and Arrow trying to find him in these team fights, for sure. Trying to pick him off, make sure he has no effect or a way to get back to this game. And the casting scaling will continue to happen here.
And that's something High is ready to do. He's ready to go in knowing Altec's going to be on the back line, knowing he can just keep stomping on people with Moon and Balls.
High quite behind, though, so it will take him some time. It's down 2 levels.
Right.
FlyQuest making a move on to Zig in the bottom lane.
Doesn't really have an escape. Gonna go for the flash and ulti, trying to speed away.
That means they left the top lane unattended. Phoenix One actually were rotating all members down, so FlyQuest didn't lose any damage on the turret. Really good kind of counterpunch there from FlyQuest. They still have to deal with Baron buff, though.
Ryu level 18, Zig level 18, 3 levels above High. He actually hit 16 just now. Safety for Zig, he's still tanking, but they have the turret in time. And P1 is gonna make it into the base. And now pressure FlyQuest for the possible ending game.
Now they have 2 inhibitors down. Baron buff for 40 more seconds, but I think that's just empowered recalls, reset waves. Get yourself your items for the next fight.
Yeah, FlyQuest is in an inherently defensive composition. Now they've got 2 inhibitors down. It's all about setting up the advanced warning system here with the wards.
Exactly. You have to put down those trap lines, allow High to scale, get some more items, and then there's the potential for a comeback here, but it is still a far cry. Ryu didn't take it back, decided just to sit in that bush and wait for somebody, wait for Elimination to return to the scene of the crime.
Just wait for your team to come up. They've got 2 lines of super minions coming in. Baron buff still active. Phoenix One could just usher all those minions straight up into the FlyQuest base. They're so close to their 3rd place goal.
Yeah, and that would really validate the changes that they made.
Yep.
They brought in 2 new imports, fluctuated support position. They take 3rd place here.
Yep.
Definitely think that's a win for being the promotion tournament last split. The changes, I would say, pretty successful. And also the 2 guys that are returning, Dig and Inori. They were in the promotion tournament. You've got to be like, okay, maybe they're a part of the reason why they were there and couldn't really gel with the team or have that type of performance you want. Now, all the way up here.
QSS is down and Ryu's teleporting in to keep the pressure up.
Yeah, they're pushing both of the lanes that already have inhibitors down with their the ones of their 1-3-1, and then you can flank in and put side pressure on, so you can't completely go for an engage as FlyQuest, or else you get wrapped around. You can see LeBlanc, Zig off on the side here, fled, and LeBlanc just poking in.
Yep.
And this also cuts out the route for FlyQuest to get to their minions, to kill them and kill those super minions. That was a Blade of the Ruined King from Zig. He bought Blade of the Ruined King on Kled, gave himself a little bit more lifesteal.
Yep.
Keep yourself
Attack
mounted
speed
for longer.
equals more remounting speed.
Yep.
True.
Equals more health.
Teleport comes in, quick scrying on the backside to see if all the members are there. Ryu from the side, High's gonna get deleted. Gets out of it with a quick move, but Lemonation is the one to take the chains. A pie in the face for him. And P1 now looking to break the base. Altec doing the damage. He's on the left side, but he's put himself in the front. He was able to route all the way around. Keep the fence of the turret, keep the fence with his team. And now they're going to take down Moon. I'm sorry, Moon will take down Inori as they get into the base.
That's an ace right there. They go down, they get time to clear their base. They killed Arrow at the start again.
They have 1 turret remaining to themselves. Inhibitors will be respawning though after they clean out all these super minions.
Elder Dragon in 25 seconds. There are 25 seconds on Ryu. No teleport. Inori is not for 30. Watch this again. Watch what happens. High gets hit. Ball hits Arrow into the team again, and they pick him up. Now nobody's on Altec. They burn the exhaust, and they layer the polymorph on top of it.
Moon as well on the outside. Again, assassinates Ryu, takes down the LeBlanc, and FlyQuest are still holding on.
You can't layer those CCs like the exhaust and the polymorph at the same time on the same person like that. Altec absorbed so much and was able to get a lot. We'll see what happens here, but that's Elder Dragon. FlyQuest still in this.
Game number 5, and the farm for late strategy is getting closer to completion.
This is when High and Altec, Hardy coming online, but start to get even stronger. The QSSs are there for the outplays, but flashes and summoners are up and down on either side. You gotta weigh the odds of what you take. P1 still feeling comfortable enough as they have absolutely decimated the Summoner's Rift against FlyQuest right now, to be in the jungle, to stay up here, but this also gives FlyQuest a chance to find that fight once again.
Yeah.
It's basically, Balls, you have to cast Arrow.
Yeah, this right here, though, is the setup. Baron is on the table. FlyQuest do have the Elder Dragon, but it's a 2-stack, considering the Elder Dragon itself. But they still have to check all this vision. You can wait it out, allow the super minions to push, and set yourself up for a Baron.
The pressure is on here for FlyQuest. They still have super minions flooding into the bottom of their base. Hai does have his teleport, but Kassadin not the best at clearing out lines of double supers.
Yeah.
Phoenix One can continue the pressure on the opposite side here with Baron, burning it down very quickly.
No Scryer Orb either. They have to walk up and check this. Moon hit by an arrow. They're just buying time.
Baron's up. Waves aren't in perfect position, but they're moving there, and it will allow P1 to head down mid lane like a freight train as they meet the rest of the minions, and they try for the inhibs.
Well, right now, all inhibs exposed, but all of them up again for FlyQuest.
Your last amount of super minions probably already crashing in.
Nice little block there with the clone. Apparently had the ulti on it.
Looks like they will split Ryu to the top side here, get a quick push. Zig will feed in the mid lane, and remember, these super minions are basically up to Altec, up to Moon to clear. Can still be hit up by Balls, Hai, and Lemon, but not as much.
The critical item completions are coming in just in time there for FlyQuest. Hai just now gets his Zonias for the Kassadin, which really opens up an extra ginormous amount of time for him to try and dive that back line and get back there to Arrow. This is really down to the wire here.
Yeah, looking for whoever can find that pick. Hai, now no longer a level discrepancy, is level 18, has exactly what you talked about with the Zonia's Hourglass. But then Guardian Angel advantage right now for FlyQuest.
FlyQuest also don't want to let Phoenix One inside the base. If they let one inhibitor fall, then they might as well, you know, just seed multiple multiple ones. So it's on them to really jump on the first opportunity that they do see. Meanwhile, Phoenix One are trying to wait this Dragon buff out. It's much shorter than the Baron buff, and there it goes.
Is that enough, though? They'll continue to push, start looking for it, but you always have to be conscious of what is going to happen in these fights. LeBlanc on the top side trying to find something. Ryu trying to find a way to break this game open. He's had all the cards for a while now. First pick LeBlanc, getting an assist on first blood. Now he's got the split push on, but game's actually way closer, the goal to tell you right now.
Every auto Phoenix One move onto this inhibitor, FlyQuest move up and threaten them. Slowly going down to the Baron up cannon minion though, firing from afar.
It's only so much pressure.
Oh, they're committing to it.
Either team can put on. This creates the errors. The mistakes are now forced here. Great damage on Altec to start things off. It's going to be the in-and-out guerrilla warfare here if he can keep doing that. Ryu has a lot of damage. There's one down. Lemonation, 55 seconds on the clock. Redemption goes down, so the team is healthy enough to continue.
Great jump there by Phoenix One, and that's going to be the second inhibitor for them.
They're going to keep pushing right now. Altec has to go back. They're going to go for that third inhibitor, pick that one up, and then they have all three.
Yeah, FlyQuest have to go right now. Even though it's a 4 versus 5, they have no options. Baron up minions still streaming in, though, and they're trying to clean everything up.
Who is going to play their hand? It looks like FlyQuest is actually holding off for now. P1's not going in as fast as they can. To Zig teleport, however, is definitely going to speed things up here as he goes towards the back line.
Who pulls the trigger? Who is the hero of this match to secure third?
Ball's in. That's going to be a fight for him. Cask is there looking for Arrow. He pushes him out, though, and this could be the fight that P1 want. Arrow gets the right side of the fight. Ball's in once again. Moon and the team back and forth, but they're really only dodging out damage.
Phoenix One early flashes. They know they just have to survive.
It's an invulnerability. That's the GA coming up now for Balls.
Altec!
Lockdown onto Altec, that's the damage of the 80 carry, but we also lose Zig in the fight. Ryu now looking to get himself in and out. They try to distract Moon. Moon goes down. P1 looking to drop every member of FlyQuest and go for broke in the last fight. The Nexus and 2 members of FlyQuest in their eyes, and their quest is the Nexus. 23-13, 44 minutes in. Arrow wants to clean up a few more kills and secure this one. Make sure it's theirs. From the ashes, fighting hard and bringing it to a game 5. P1 will lock in third place in the 2017 NALCS Spring Split.
Successful rebuilding for Phoenix One from the promotion tournament to third place in the NALCS. They lock it in. They figured out what their roster was going to be. No substitutions throughout the whole series. and they said there wasn't going to be either.
A triumphant return home for Inori after coming back in the middle of the season.
Absolutely.
So many things that team had to battle through. And FlyQuest, definitely the biggest of those things. Huge performance from them as well, pushing this all the way to game number 5.
And like we said, we keep saying it, a team that was once looking at a promotion tournament now pockets some championship points.
Absolutely. And this team, well, we look at somebody like Inori, first playoffs for him. Sig, same story. And then you go over to Shady, who pretty much his first few games, handful of games in the NALCS as a professional player. So we'll see what the future has in store for that support.
Straight into the fire for Shady, and he comes out.
Sometimes you got to do it as well. The team behind him all the way. We saw a lot of focus for Arrow and Shady from the team at a lot of times. And you can hear the crowd still very happy, the fans of FlyQuest, with the performance this season and what the expectation was. It's definitely different to see this team kind of go out in such a fashion. They always fight so hard.
Huge cheers for these guys on FlyQuest. They have fought valiantly this split. And what a return for them as well.
That's why you love to watch FlyQuest, because sometimes you don't always know what they're going to do, but then they pull off these really crazy moves. Right there, that game was so much closer than the gold implied it to be, and that was really just a great performance from both teams at the end.
And to talk about FlyQuest quick before we move to P1, for Hai, this meant a lot. Talking to him before they played TSM, he said, this is another season I'm back in mid lane, so I really want to show that that's something I can still do.
And you think about Hai, after Cloud9 Challenger qualified, he even said, oh, I'm thinking about retirement. The guy is so competitive, comes back. We knew that he had some wrist issues in the past, but he's still playing Assassins. He's still playing Casting. He's still playing all of these guys that are mechanically
and playing them well.
Very efficient.
And it's amazing.
Plays them well.
It's amazing to bring a team up to that level as well, around you, with the teammates he had on him. P1, though, coming out so strong, persevering through what a lot of people fail to do is when FlyQuest get a hold of a series, it's theirs, but P1 did not fall prey to that.
Exactly, and also sometimes when they would drop the ball, you think about Inori, some misplays, but then right back in the saddle, empowered immediately again to make plays, flash cocoons, going off. So both teams were really kind of, you could tell, empowering certain members to go and make those plays, and if they failed, they just get right back up.
Absolutely amazing game. I believe we are almost ready on stage. We are going to go ahead and set it over to Pastry Time, who's on stage for an interview with 2 members of the victorious Phoenix One.
Thank you very much. I'm here with the Canadians of Phoenix One, Inori and Sig, Vancouver. Give it up for your boys. Insane crowd here to watch you guys, but I mean, that was one hell of a series. Just coming off fresh. Inori, what are you feeling after that crazy game 5?
My heart's beating really fast. I honestly, even in game 5, I didn't think we were going to win. It was like 50-50. I was getting super nervous, but towards the end, that feeling of knowing that you're going to win is so good, and I'm so proud to be a Canadian and win in front of my country.
And for Zig, what about you? I mean, that was an incredible series from both of you, but how are you feeling after game 5?
I feel pretty much the same way. Just, I was like trembling a lot and my heart was beating really fast. But yeah, I'm just really glad that we won.
All right, so Zig, you had an incredible series, playing a bunch of different champions, making sure you're in your signature picks. I just feel like this split has been one of your best splits, maybe your best split ever. How are you feeling about your improvement, your growth now that you guys have secured 3rd place?
I'm just really happy at the results. I think I had a lot of help this split. Like Coach Fly really helped me up my game a lot and fixed a lot of the problems I was having last split. And just playing with superstars like Ryu, Arrow, and Nori, and our rookie Shady, who's also a superstar, it has really helped me as well a lot.
And Nori, for you, I mean, you guys are down 2-1 in that series. I know, it can be tough mentally to come back, but you had 2 incredible back-to-back release games. What did you do to kind of get yourself out of that spot being down 2-1 and just know that you're going to carry this game?
I think I have a pretty bad reputation for being a tilter. So after that game, I kind of expected everyone to be like, Inori's tilting, but I think in front of my crowd, it kind of motivated me to like play better and not prove that I'm not a tilter and I can come from the game.
And I think it makes sense here because the flag you're wearing is not that familiar to many people, but what are you wearing across your back today?
I think most of the people here know this is the British Columbia flag. And I'm so happy to represent this place and win in front of them. This place is amazing, beautiful British Columbia.
All right, so for both of you, it's obviously been a monumental experience to win here in Canada. What do you guys have to say to your friends, your family, your friends? Zig, we'll start with you.
Wait, what? One more time?
What do you have to say to your friends, your fans, your family, winning here in Canada?
Just thanks for all the support, and hopefully you can cheer for us next season too.
And Honore, what about you?
Yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting us. You know, I'm so happy. The crowd was amazing. You guys were so loud, we could hear it. And it was just, it helped. It wasn't bad, it helped me. It like kind of pushed me to play better. So I appreciated all the noise you guys gave us.
All right, so fantastic series from you both. Once again, congratulations on your third place finish, but we are going to throw it back to the analyst desk to get their thoughts on the series.
Thank you very much, Pastry Time. What a series. All 5 games, down 2-1. The untilt happens, and you had 2 great games out of Honore at the very end there.
Game 5 was incredible. It looked like, you know, it was going to be P1 the whole time, and then FlyQuest actually was able to fight back, and it was a real nail-biter.
I like it when the 5th game is the closest, because even though this was a 5-game series, it had a lot of very close one-sided games early on. And then the fact that just Honore was able to recover from those really poor games when people were chanting Meteos, and then to come back in front of the home crowd is just a great story.
Yeah, absolutely. So speaking of being in front of the home crowd, Pastry is here once again with a interview with FlyQuest's bot laner.
Thank you very much. I'm here with Altec, the hometown hero of Vancouver. I'm sorry I have to be talking to you on a loss here. I mean, such a rough series, so close. How are you feeling, man?
Honestly, it sucks that we lost, but we're able to play 5 games here in Vancouver, and you know it's really exciting. The audience was great, and I love you guys.
And I have to say, I don't know if it's kind of being home that made this happen, but you played amazing today. What happened? Like, I remember seeing you a few years ago playing this good on those hard carry champions. You told me all these weeks ago that you're maybe happy if the meta shifts back in. Honestly, at that point, you could have carried that last game, and you very nearly did. I mean, what's happened to Altec? Are you back?
I don't know, honestly. It's just like, I guess the crowd just kind of gets the last little part of me and gets me going, so I was able to play really well today.
And of course, for FlyQuest in general, it's been a very up and down split for you guys, but the expectations coming in were pretty low, and almost finishing 3rd here in your first ever split as FlyQuest. I mean, that's just incredible in general, but what are you guys doing moving into the summer split, moving in towards Worlds? Your teammate Hai has never missed a Worlds, or he has been an active LCS player. How are you guys feeling moving into the summer, especially given just what the expectations were like coming into spring?
We weren't able to, I guess, play in the finals here, but I think moving on to summer and onto Worlds even, I think we can, we'll practice harder, you know, troll less, I guess, in a way. But that's something we kind of do often. So I think that even though we lost today, I think people will take next split a lot more seriously, and hopefully we're able to go to Worlds.
And the results already just seem so good. My final question for you, Altec. You have the floor. You're surrounded by friends, fans, and family here in Vancouver. Do you have any words for them?
Honestly, thank you guys for coming here. You know, it honestly means a lot to me. A lot of friends, family, even people that I went to school with, or maybe seen me in school. Thank you guys for coming, even though we didn't win. I'm very honored to be here.
Vancouver, I heard in the last game you chanting his name. If you have some love for Altec, now's your final chance. All right, Altec, thank you very much. Thank you again for the interview after the tough loss there, but we are going to throw it back to the analyst desk to wrap up the day.
Thank you very much, Basic Time. Great cast in the day, great interviews as well to everyone involved, and it was, again, a very great series. Let's talk about what happened in Game 5. Phoenix One said, you know what, it's time to go blue side. They did have a little bit of spice up prepared. They had a nice level 1 invade that came out well for them, and they had control kind of the entire time, it felt like. Yeah, okay, there were some comeback fights, but this was P1's game to win almost the whole way through.
I think throughout this series, early fights were pivotal in deciding the entire game. You know, this one put both Honore and Ryu massively ahead, even more so in the follow-up fight that they won around mid because they won the first one. So these early fights were so big.
Yeah, and you can see Alltech there nearly being able to come back later in the team fights because it was a fairly 1-3-1 style team composition that Phoenix One put together. We knew that Phoenix One was going to switch things up as they had their first game on blue side, and the fact that they were willing to first pick LeBlanc dictated the rest of the strategy because that still meant that the jungle pinch was going to be happening. They were going to be trying to put Inori onto Elise, and that's already just a full pick composition, but Phoenix One was ready for it and able to execute.
Yeah, it's the kind of comp where you do need to keep the early lead, otherwise you don't have a way to 5v5 and get back in. You need some level of control, and the fact that they were able to maintain that the whole way through definitely spoke well to their ability to close out games.
Yeah, it certainly did. And Hai has never been one to shy away from LeBlanc, even when this champion was completely permanent. You know, FlyQuest has always been a team that was willing to let champions like LeBlanc through or Camille through with planned answers to it, such as the Cassin, such as the Poppy in the top lane, and you know, and they did come out with that.
Well, and of course, the planned answer Cassidy got shut down early on. We do have the replay of that level 1 invade that I always enjoy planned plays like that. It felt like there was a little bit something they had prepped, and it went really nicely.
It did go incredibly nicely, and this is so big from Ryu. He needs to deny this last little Raptor to stop level 2 on Moon. So that alone gives them the level advantage, while his jungler and top lane are doing the red buff. Now they can come in with not only the red buff, but a level up.
Yeah, almost a sneaky invade there to be able to be doing the red buff and get level 2s in what is otherwise a level 1 engagement. Gives him that extra spell in which to take Hai down. So much of that was on a very slim margin, but Phoenix One was able to pull it off thanks to the plan.
I mean, that was massive in putting Hai behind. Not only did that happen, but then again, they fight mid lane jungle around the mid lane again, and now Ryu gets the kill, gets a blue buff. That put him so far ahead of Hai, and Hai was almost 100 CS below the kind of pro pace that you would like on a Cassidon for the whole game. You know, if that early fight goes different, it could be a completely different series.
I mean, you just saw the damage graph down there. Hai had done a really good amount, only second to the Caitlyn who was going off on his team. Imagine another 4,000 gold. He takes over that game probably.
Potentially, he was down about 3,000 or 4,000 gold to Ryu, and even then, some of the R stacking he was able to do in the fights made them very competitive down the stretch.
Exactly.
But that's what we saw, a very close 5 game and very closely matched teams.
Yeah, very closely matched teams, but it was the 5-game win to Phoenix One. And of course, as P1 has had plenty of huge plays, it was hard to call out exactly who stood above the rest, but we are going to award Zig as player of the series from the top lane. I loved his play game 5, absolutely. Honorable mentions do go to Inori. We're also at one point considering Ryu in the mid lane, but we said Zig #1 here on the team.
Yeah, a lot of standout players for Phoenix One. Pacer did call him the king of Pled, and he pulled out the comfort pick in game 5 as we were kind of expecting, but that's not to understate his Rumble games as well, which were dominant.
And I think one of the most impressive things about Zig is he created his own leads. Particularly when you look at this Pled game, he's getting camped nonstop by Moon. Not only does he absorb all this pressure and still stay even, he turns around a 1v2 dive, gets a double kill, and ends up being way ahead.
And that moment right there was such a pivotal moment in the series because in the mid lane, FlyQuest had just turned to play around and the game was getting very close. If that dive is successful onto Zig, FlyQuest pretty much pulls even in that game 5 with the scaling of the Cassin and Caitlyn. So huge moment there to just kind of cap off his player of the series performance.
Yeah, 'cause that was where Moon was putting so much of his attention in the first place, was trying to get that top lane ahead, and the fact that he's able to turn that around is obviously pretty incredible. Now, before we look ahead to tomorrow's match, let's check in with what some of you sent us at home with your tweets. We have Snoopy, who joined us in the crowd. Thank you very much, Snoopy, for joining us. One of the old school LCS pros. If you don't know who he is, has been a top 4
Long
world
time no
competitor.
see.
Yeah, but
Old
a great
school EG player.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lots of great people were on that team.
Lots of great people. Can't think of anyone else though.
Once played with Alltech as well, who was on stage today.
That's true. Yeah, used to be in the same team together on the Winter Fox, I think, lineup if it was at that point, or something. One of the incarnations that turned to that. Anyway, more tweets at Ponox brought their crew to cheer on Phoenix One. To get that one up there, I'm glad everyone's got their jerseys in, smiling and happy to join the crowd. And we also have more to point out with at Koala Tea Time. Beautiful. Good job on the pickup there.
And Pigeon.
Yep. Our VIP on stage, Pigeon, maybe Medios Incarnate, as some people are calling
That
it.
Pigeon was having a blast. It was just circling the arena for what felt like hours.
To applause every time we went in front of that audience. They're like, yes, the Pigeon. Oh, my.
Another one.
Yeah.
Someone made a Twitter account for him.
Yeah, we have an LCS Pigeon account now as well, making it a very appropriate Twitter handle. Of course, fly a win. No surprise when you've got the wings, but honestly, just was great to see all the fun memes that showed up today, and of course, huge props to Riv for the great carrier pigeon pun earlier.
Yeah, we had so many great moments. I think the Alltech Penta at home, that's something that's going to live with him forever, and that's one of those moments that is really, really special for any player.
Totally agree. It's been beautiful. So with their win today, Phoenix One have ended the split in 3rd place. They've earned 50 championship points for themselves. As a result, FlyQuest will go into next split in 4th place with 30, of course. And tomorrow we have our championship match. It is Cloud9 taking on TSM, and nobody, of course, wants to miss that one. It'll be same time as today, noon, we hope.
Yeah, I really hope that series goes to 5 games. I see so many close matchups between those two teams, and there's just too much to talk about here. We're going to save it for tomorrow because picks and bans, solo lanes, MVP candidates, all this stuff going into that game.
Yep, and you two will be casting it with FaceTime. It'll be wonderful to watch. I'll be listening. It's going to be beautiful. So on behalf of myself, the casters, the analysts, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you here tomorrow crowning our spring split champion.
Two of my favorite things, Canada and League of Legends, combined right now. It's going to be a good day.
Here comes Ryu. Looks like they could get another one. Ryu to the sky. It's over the wall. Looks like he's going to finish it as well. And the turnaround from the equalizer as Zig goes in, makes himself all shiny. Balls almost gets taken down.
Oh, very nice.
Good shit, guys. Good shit.
It's also going to be a kill to the turret. High, looking very low. The last shot comes in and they're able to take him down. Double kills across the board. And here's FlyQuest doing what they do best, making the calls around the fight side. Here comes Altac, the triple kill, looking for the 4th kill.
Penta, give him the Penta. Oh, no. I'll go.
In the fountain, will they be trying it? The King's gonna give it to us. Is it a 3rd game Penta? Yes, it is. The Penta kill for Altac on the combo.
The Vancouver native gets a pentakill in game 2 to bring it back for FlyQuest.
Wait, he's gonna go back. One shot into the turret. Can he get another? He picked himself up a kill. The Moruski, they win so much. The Nuri close to going down. Lives. The minion doesn't get him. High in the backside. Very, very low, but very, very alive with the rest of his team.
I have my tree. My tree.
I'm going in at Pokeball.
Okay, nice.
Shield 1. Nice.
It works. It's scraping the surface. We're going to a game 5.
1 for 1. Oh, nice.
Oh, see you, buddy.
Oh my God, nice.
From the ashes, fighting hard and bringing it to a game 5. P1 will lock in 3rd place in the 2017 NALCS Spring Split.